Like, is everyone crying watching the show? Obviously, I'm not crying, and if I did, it's only because the ragweed pollen count in my area is at an elevated level. But for real though, y'all are crying, right? I'm not crying. Alright, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, I give spoiler-free movie and TV reviews. Give you a little background, just let you know if I think it's worth checking out or not. If that's something you're into, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for your boy. For my regular taste takers, let's see what season 2's colorful cast is up to. Get it? I said colorful, and it's about the spectrum? Never mind. Love on the Spectrum is the Australian reality dating show on ABC that Netflix has picked up for a second season. The creator of the show is Cian O'Clery. Back in 2017, he released his docuseries Employable Me, which followed several people with disabilities as they navigated employment discrimination and biases. While he was working on that project, he noticed a trend, specifically with people on the autism spectrum, is that they were looking for love and trying to date, but they were having a hard time. Like, he would meet people who were 35 years old that have never been on a date before. So that inspired him to create Love on the Spectrum. In season 1, we met a cast of hopeful romantics on all different levels of the autism spectrum. Season 2 returns with some familiar faces, as well as some new folks looking for love, as well as some established relationships trying to make it work. Alright, let's break down the cast here, starting with the star of season 1, none other than my man Michael. Anyone that watched season 1 of Love on the Spectrum knows that we needed more Michael. He's back at it season 2 with more Michaelisms, more suits, and more lessons in chivalry.
By the way, I am planning to give her a kiss. Not on the lips, that's too early.
Talk about a true gentleman. This dude asked one of his dates for consent on a hug. Man, be like Mike. Next up we have Mark, also from season 1. If you don't remember Mark, shame on you. But he was the one that loved dinosaurs, remember? Come on now. See, if you were like me watching season 1, you couldn't help but think, alright, our cast is going on all these random dates, but low key, why doesn't the show just hook them up with each other? They're all so nice. In season 2, I got my wish, because Mark actually goes on a date with Chloe from season 1. The same Chloe that came through and showed Tate to take some love in the comments? What? Yeah, I don't know. To all my other YouTube friends, sure, maybe Iron Man retweeted you or Doctor Strange subscribed, but y'all don't got this. Y'all don't got this. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, my favorite cast member, hanging with my boy Mark, season 2 came with the heat. But there's no spoilers here at Tate's Take, so I'm not telling you anything else about these two lovebirds. Ugh. Speaking of birds, this dude Mark goes on a date and they're admiring all the birds. And he tells her he likes birds because they're such a beautiful and misunderstood species. No, I'm good. Moving on, the homies Charnay and Jimmy are back. If you remember season 1, Jimmy proposed to Charnay. So in season 2, you get to see them preparing for the wedding and you get to see them take their first trip to America because Jimmy's competing in this international pool tournament. Okay, on to our 4 new cast members, starting with Ronan. Boy, oh boy, this guy loves cars and actually works on a racetrack when he's not looking for love. Then we got Cassandra. She hears from people all the time that she doesn't look autistic. And she tells them, well, you can't see my brain. Sheesh. She got a point. Next up is Jaden, and I think this dude was born in the wrong century. He talks like Shakespeare. I never heard Shakespeare talk, but I think if I did, he would sound like Jaden.
What is typical and what is atypical, and should it be so stringently abided to?
He reminds me of Vision from the Avengers, just a real deep dude.
But what is grief, if not love persevering?
Finally, and my favorite of the new season, we got Teo. She was adopted at 3 years old in Romania, moved to America before coming to Australia. She was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder much later on in life, which is unfortunately not uncommon in girls, but even more so in Romania, where there were about 200 orphans per caregiver. This girl has great energy and she's super positive. They asked her on the show, does she think it's harder to find love being on the spectrum? And she's like, no, I think there's someone for everyone. If Donald Trump can find love, so can I. And from that moment, she pretty much had my vote. So what's my take? Y'all know my damn take. This is the best damn dating show in TV history. For all the filth I watch, like Love is Blind and Too Hot to Handle, which is still low-key fire. This is such a refreshing change of pace. I think everyone should watch this. I don't know why you don't watch this. If you don't watch this, why you don't watch this? Why you watch my channel, you don't watch this? You should watch this. In a world where we need to be prioritizing representation, It's this. Now, there is some criticism that the show wasn't created by someone with autism spectrum disorder, but the show did reach out to autism advocacy groups to make sure that the cast felt super comfortable at all times, and they knew that they could take breaks and stop whenever they wanted to. The creator really wanted the cast to know, like, the show is on their terms, not the other way around. So he took his time and made sure they were as comfortable as possible. There's some nerdy part of me that wishes that there was more of a scientific angle to the show, learning more about autism, how it's diagnosed, how it's treated, etc. But I guess the argument could be made that you don't see that kind of stuff on other dating shows, so we could just watch them as they go on this journey. We do get a little bit of that in Jody, who is a relationship specialist and works with people on the autism spectrum. She helps some of our cast in preparing for their dates and checks in with them afterwards to see how it went. Okay, I like my job. I do. But it's so damn inspiring to see people like Jody who dedicate their lives to making other people's lives better every single day. Like, it's the selflessness for me, y'all. We can all learn something from Jody in these dates, though, because my man Michael is showing up with flowers every time. These guys are pulling out chairs, bringing gifts, and y'all dudes just want to Netflix and chill? Ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Hello, this is Walmart? Y'all sell flowers? Another cool thing about season 2 is that this time around, the cast is going on a lot of repeat dates, trying to build a relationship with the same person. Whereas like in season 1, there was a lot of one-off dates. So in season 2, is a lot of progression. The last thing I'll touch on why this show is so good, besides an awesome cast, and it's the parents. I can't stress enough what it feels like to watch the pride that these parents have in their kids, watching them search for love. Making sure they're not nervous, helping choose outfits for dates, dropping them off, picking them up. I mean, we're watching all this positive interaction, but we know it probably wasn't always that easy. But they're not burned out, they're not discouraged, they just want what's best for their kids. And it's the nicest thing I've seen on the TV screen in all my days. And Michael's mom, oh my God, you're my favorite. I just want to be your friend. I could use a friend like you. Just like season 1, I'm gonna give Love on the Spectrum season 2 5 stars. There's nothing more wholesome in all the cosmos, and it's really cool that I have this little platform to tell y'all about it and spread the word about autism. There's so much diversity in people with autism spectrum disorder, and this show does an awesome job showing the world that there's no one type of autistic. We talked a little bit about it last time, but in layman's, autism stems from differences in biology that has an impact on brain development. You don't grow out of it, but with specialists and treatments, you can improve. There's a wide range of where someone could fall on the spectrum, and some terms you may have heard before are high functioning versus low functioning. But we really want to use terms like minimal support needs versus high support needs. There's just a lot of things that neurotypical people do unconsciously that people on the spectrum have to do manually, and I'm sure it's exhausting. Not to mention how much harder it is for women and people of color to get an early diagnosis. There's still a lot to learn about autism, but if you want to learn more or donate or get involved, I have a link in the description to the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. They provide support, community, and public policy advocacy by and for people on the autism spectrum. Back to the show, an interviewer once asked Michael, what are some of the positive things for you being on the autism spectrum? Michael says, being gifted and very intelligent and having wandering eyes, meaning I can see things people wouldn't notice, and undying loyalty to both my family and friends, not to mention having a big heart full of love. Love on the Spectrum Season 2 is available right now on Netflix. As always, thanks for checking out Taste Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, just let me know if you cried. Just tell the truth. This is a community of honesty and trust. Just tell me. And also, who's your favorite character? This season is Teo. Last season was Chloe. Of course, Michael is a GOAT. But thanks for the time, y'all. Peace.
My first vow is to continue to love you for who you are. I vow to respect and understand you, for autism is beautiful and you are autistic. I vow to keep making vows until we die, for we are special and worth it.